Between 1941 and 1945, Nazi Germany massacred roughly 6 million Jews across Europe. Despite this, a group of people today deny that this even happened. Holocaust denial is a theory that rejects that the Holocaust happened and therefore rejects that the massacre of 6 million Jews by Nazi Germany ever took place. What is Holocaust denial? How could the extermination of 6 million Jews be denied? What are the arguments for Holocaust denial, and why do people advocate for it? This is a deep dive into a controversial topic that is a massive issue for the Jewish community and the modern world. You're watching All Things Humanities. Before examining Holocaust denial, we need to define what the Holocaust is. The Holocaust was the genocide of European Jews during World War II. Between 1941 and 1945, Nazi Germany and its collaborators massacred 6 million Jews across German-occupied Europe, which was 2/3 of Europe's Jewish population. The murders were mainly carried out through mass shootings and poison gas in extermination camps. The Holocaust is a topic that is taken very seriously by the modern world and the Jewish community. So when people try to deny that the whole event even happened, many get very angry with this. The Holocaust has also caused great pain for the Jewish people, and its effects continue to reverberate today. Survivors and their descendants have experienced severe psychological trauma, physical health issues, and social challenges as a result of the Holocaust. Before we jump into the claims of Holocaust denial, let's examine the evidence we have for the Holocaust itself. Firstly, we have thousands of survivors, perpetrators, and local townspeople who have testified to some of the grueling events of the Holocaust. At the Nuremberg trials, a series of military tribunals that were held after World War II to prosecute Nazi war criminals, key perpetrators like Hermann Göring, Otto Ollendorf, and Rudolf Höss testified about their involvement in the Holocaust. Otto Ollendorf admitted that his Einsatzgruppe murdered 90,000 men, women, and children in 1 year. Rudolf Höss, a commandant of Auschwitz, also testified about the gassing of over 1 million Jews at the camp. So we have admissions that the Holocaust took place from the Nazis themselves, and you must ask yourself, how could this be denied? Perhaps conspiracy theorists think that the Nazis were in on this too. Does this sound plausible? Not at all. We also have physical evidence to show that the Holocaust existed too. What's the evidence? The remains of concentration camps, as well as thousands of mass graves containing Jewish corpses. Recent excavations of the Treblinka camp shows us that the camp had floor tiles from gas chambers. If this isn't enough for you, I went to Dachau in Germany in 2017 and saw a concentration camp with my own eyes. It was pretty bone-chilling stuff. We can even prove that the Nazis used gas to exterminate the Jews at Auschwitz. 3 of the 4 original holes used to pour Zyklon B into the gas chambers were identified, which match eyewitness accounts and historical photographs. For the record, Zyklon B was the pesticide invented in Germany in the early 1920s to be used by the Nazis to murder more than 1 million people in gas chambers. Let's not forget the photographic and film evidence we have as well. We have access to official Nazi photographs, photos taken by survivors, and aerial images that provide visual proof of the atrocities. Now, it's important to remember that during World War II, the Jewish population in German-occupied Europe was reduced by about 6 million. Approximately 2.7 million Jews were deported to extermination camps and never seen again. So, how could all of this evidence be denied when the Holocaust is the most thoroughly documented genocide in history? After all, the Wannsee Conference Protocol outlines the Nazi plan to murder 11 million European Jews, as discussed at a meeting chaired by Reinhard Heydrich on January 20, 1942. We also have the Stroop Report, which was SS leader Jürgen Stroop's album, documenting the suppression of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, including a capture of 55,000 Jews. There's also Himmler's speech from October 4, 1943, where the SS leader, Heinrich Himmler himself, referred to the annihilation of the Jewish people as a glorious page of our history. There really isn't much debate about this stuff, and much of it was produced by the Nazis themselves. Yet there are still some people that try to deny that it ever happened. So let's turn our attention to the claims of Holocaust denial. In other words, what do these people say to deny the Holocaust? Well, Holocaust denialists question the intention of the Nazis. Some deniers have claimed that Nazi Germany did not have a planned program to exterminate Jews. One of the main arguments used by Holocaust deniers is that there is no comprehensive document outlining the entire extermination process. They argue that without such a master plan, the Holocaust could have never occurred. However, this argument ignores several key facts. The first is that the Nazis intentionally avoided creating written plans for the extermination process, preferring spoken orders and improvised methods. Even so, the Nazis could well and truly have had wicked intentions and not have written them down. The argument that there was no document to outline the extermination process means that they did not intend for the extermination of the Jews is actually very poor. And we did speak about the 1C conference protocol just before that outlines the Nazi plan to murder 11 million European Jews. Unfortunately, Holocaust denialists don't stop there. They often misinterpret Nazi documents and terminology to support their claims. They argue that phrases like final solution referred only to deportation rather than extermination. That is, to remove all Jews from Europe by deporting them rather than killing them. This claim, however, ignores the overwhelming evidence from survivor testimonies, perpetrator confessions, and historical records that demonstrate the genocidal intent behind Nazi policies. It's clear that Holocaust denials simply reject and discredit the evidence that proves that the Holocaust occurred. They dismiss documents submitted at the Nuremberg trials as fabrications. They claim that perpetrator confessions were obtained through torture, and they also think that survivor testimonies are lies that are motivated by self-interest. All of this is incredibly difficult to prove. Another tactic used by Holocaust deniers is to reduce the number of Jewish victims drastically. They think that the accepted figure of 6 million Jews is grossly exaggerated. They use this argument to cast doubt on the entire historical narrative of the Holocaust. They dispute the accuracy of population statistics, arguing that censuses and population charts do not support the figure of 6 million Jewish deaths. They point to the lack of a single, comprehensive list of all Jewish victims, exploiting the fact that Nazis destroyed many records near the end of the war. In this case, Holocaust deniers try to manipulate evidence to suit their own conspiracy theories. Holocaust deniers argue that many deaths were due to diseases like typhus rather than the systematic murder of the Jewish people, which downplays the role of gas chambers and other extermination methods by the Nazis. They think it was technically impossible for the Nazis to have killed that many Jews in that time frame, and they also argued that the Jewish population in Nazi-controlled Europe was only around 3 million, making 6 million deaths impossible. In reality, the Holocaust is one of the most thoroughly documented genocides in history. The overwhelming evidence from Nazi documents, eyewitness accounts, demographic studies, and physical remains of extermination camps all confirm the systematic murder of millions of Jews by the Nazi regime. Holocaust denial is not a legitimate historical inquiry, but it's a form of anti-Semitism that ignores a lot of facts and evidence. People deny the Holocaust for several reasons, and it's primarily rooted in anti-Semitism, political agendas, and conspiracy theories. Many Holocaust deniers are motivated by an irrational hatred of Jews. They view the Holocaust as a hoax designed to gain sympathy for Jews and advance their interests. This is present more than ever with the current war in Israel. Conspiracy theorists seem to think that given the Jewish people suffered terribly during the Holocaust, it means that they're entitled to control Israel and have a home state. Holocaust deniers even refer to Theodor Herzl, the founder of Zionism, who concluded that Jewish assimilation into European society was impossible and that the only solution for Jews was the creation of their own state. Deniers often claim the Holocaust is part of a vast conspiracy by Jews and Western powers to manipulate world events and public opinion. Some, particularly Arab countries, deny the Holocaust to undermine the legitimacy of the state of Israel. Some people think that the Holocaust is used as leverage to advocate for a Jewish home state in Palestine. They seem to think that the Jews control entire institutions and industries to disseminate the Holocaust narrative. Believe it or not, but others deny the Holocaust to rehabilitate Nazi ideology or promote far-right political views. They argue that Nazism was a positive philosophy, tarnished by false genocide claims. Holocaust denial unites a broad range of radical right-wing hate groups from the KKK to skinheads that are seeking to revive Nazism. These groups use denial as a tool to advance their political ideas. Holocaust deniers often claim that Jews invented the Holocaust for financial gain, including pressuring Germany for reparations to Holocaust survivors. This draws on a long-standing anti-Semitic sentiment about Jewish people, and particularly Jewish greed and control. If you want to learn more about anti-Semitism and why it has occurred throughout human history, be sure to check out this video I made on the topic. For some, Holocaust denial may stem from a general tendency to believe in conspiracy theories or a need to question established historical narratives. It's important to remember that these conspiracy theories are not based on deductive reasoning, but rather inferences that are motivated by anti-Semitism. And that brings us to the end of this video on Holocaust denial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, consider subscribing and liking the video.